Okay, and here we go to whoever might be watching, or just for myself, just doing a sake review. It's the first one I'm doing, so it's probably going to be terrible. So, um, if you got any questions or suggestions, go ahead. Things to try, whatever. Anyways, I'm just going to try this just for fun, see how it goes. So in any case, I love sake. I've been wanting to review it for a long time, review different sakes that you can only find in Japan, where I am, things that you don't really see outside Japan, I would think. And so we're going to go straight off. We're going to start straight off with something really interesting that my wife got me recently from a brewery that I like very much. Mukai Shuzo from Kyoto. Yeah, I know the video sucks. I'm sorry about that. I'll fix it eventually. But anyways, I want to use the backgrounding thing to show you the map and everything. Anyways, whatever. So yeah, it's from Mukai Shuzo, and Ine Mankai is the usual name, is the name of the sake. It's a red rice sake, which is crazy. It's a sake not just made with white rice, but also made with red rice, which is really unique. And that's one of the reasons I'm a huge fan of the regular Ine Mankai. But what's really special about this one is, okay, the color's absolutely gross, but that's supposed to be purple. It's a nigori, so it's like a cloudy sake. Usually it's like a creamy white, but because of the red rice in it, it turns purple. And I think it'll be easier to see in a glass. So usually I use, nice little ceramic, sakeware for drinking sake, but today we use a little transparent glass so you can see better. Yeah, the color really has changed though. I've only had this for like 3 days and the colors changed dramatically, which is crazy because usually sake can last. It's a namazake. It's a raw sake, unpasteurized. So you have to keep it in the fridge or else it'll go bad. And even still, sake has long shelf life, much longer than wine usually. But this sake, man, the color has changed. It was like bright purple, and within like a few days, it's already gone to like a brownish purple. But I mean, compared to a regular sake, it's pretty crazy. Anyways, so I'm gonna be talking about this. I'm just gonna give you some info on it, because it's pretty freaking cool. We could go through the label if we want to, but whatever. Well, let's keep it simple. All right. So where is this from? This is from Kyoto Prefecture, brewery called Mukai Shuzo or Mukai Brewery, and Kyoto Prefecture, like I said, and that's where this is. If we look at the map of Japan, yep. It's all the way out here from a tiny water town called Ine, a little fishing village right over here on the water, on the extreme west part, western side of Japan. And so if we look at this brewery on Google Maps here, it's crazy. If you look at this, you see all these homes on the edge of the water. These are all like fishing homes, and the village is popular for these homes because they have like they have little, they have like a garage on the water to bring your boat in, which is really crazy. So it's really picturesque. I would love to go visit that town. It's been on my list forever. Still haven't been out there, but can't wait to go out there. This is what the regular Ine Mankai I was talking about looks like without the cloudiness, the non nigori version. So yeah, just a sake brewery. But like we saw in the Google Maps image there, it's like all these water houses, if you will, are like on the water, obviously, and pretty awesome, unique town. So would love to go there eventually. Yeah, this is a view from the brewery on the water side. There's like the street side and the water side. It's pretty crazy, right? So for more information, I really always love to go to if they sell it, black market sake, blackmarketsake.com. And then I go to producers, and there'll be Mukai Shuzo, I suppose. Let's just search Mukai, and hopefully it'll come up. Yeah, there we go. Mukai selection. There we go. Mukai Shuzo. So this site is great. I mean, it's basically an Australian, I think, site, an Australian company that sells sake online. And I just like it because even though I speak basic Japanese, what's great is like they've got all this information in English about these amazing breweries. They have an amazing portfolio of sake breweries here. A lot of stuff that I like, which is usually hard to find even in Japan. Natural sakes, all kinds of weird stuff. So yeah, I mean, this brewery, this Mukai Shuzo, looks pretty great. They work with red rice, which is very unique. The town, the view of it, the location of it, pretty unique. Man, I'd love to go there. Anyways, so yeah, again, black market sake. This is the regular Ine Mankai. So here they don't seem to sell on black market sake. They don't seem to sell the Nigori version that I have, the cloudy version. But I got it. I think it's pretty new actually. So yeah, super stoked to have it. And let's try it out. Maybe I'll just bring up a tasting chart or something. Oh yeah, this is the website of the actual brewery, but there's like no info. kuramotomukai.jp. Yeah, there's nothing. They're just saying like we're under construction or whatever. Let me just translate this real quick. Translate to English. Yeah, Mukai Brewery website currently undergoing renovation. Okay, whatever. But yeah, and where you can find it's basically only in Japan, obviously. And those are the kinds of sakes I want to talk about, since you can't really find them outside of the country. And what else? Yeah, so I was just looking for a sake tasting chart to give us a measure of how to judge the taste. Like, I don't know, there's so many. This is the classic one, aroma on one axis versus flavor on the other. Yeah, they'll put like junmai, ginjo, kimoto, yamahai, regular junmai, honjo, zo ginjo. They'll put this on different parts of the aroma / flavor axes, but I don't know if that's the best way to think about it. Personally, I'd like to come up with just like basic flavor, like a flavor, not a flavor wheel necessarily, but like just directions for the most, maybe I don't know if opposite is the right way to go about it, but the opposite tastes, like dry versus sweet here, aromatic, restrained, savory, floral. Yeah, we'll use that for now. Okay, so I just loaded an Illustrator, and yeah, let's try this out. Okay, so usually sake doesn't have much of doesn't have that much aromatics on the nose, especially transparent, regular, the usual kind of sake you'd come up have the opportunity to find, especially outside Japan. But anyways, transparent sake doesn't have much of a nose, but this one is super weird. Smells of a jar of olives, of green olives, like cocktail olives. It actually has that briny olive smell to it, which doesn't sound like a good thing. Would maybe be a bad sign usually, but yeah, I know that this is because I've had it for a few days. It would be much fruitier usually, but whatever, it's all good. Okay, super velour texture. That's nigori. That's just, the cloudy nature of nigori. Just gives you that thick, like almost like watery yogurt. Wow, that really doesn't sound good, but it's great. It's like sake, but with like a thick texture of a velouté, like a nice little like velour to it. Really nice. But anyways, besides texture, the taste. All right, so let's go back to our chart here. Oh yeah, by the way, number 25 Kyoto. Well, we looked at it on the map. That's where this is from. Mukai Shuzo Nigori Ine Mankai. Let's go back to the share screen. Go back here. So forget the cross hatching here in the middle. That's just some other sake. I don't know. I just found this online, but let's just have fun reading this here. Does this work if I want to create some kind of an area? Yeah, I guess this works. Yeah. Let's give it a magenta. Oh, okay, cool. All right, so I would say, so floral, fruity, aromatic, sweet, rich, savory, restrained, dry, light. Okay, so we're dealing with a nigori, so a thick, sake that has rice, suspended rice left in the sake, therefore makes it opaque and keeping rice particles in suspension in there. So that's why it has that texture and that opaque look. So obviously it's going to be sweeter than a normal sake. So when it comes to sweetness, there are non-nigoris that are very sweet, of course, but this is sweet just by the very nature of it being nigori. So I'm going to go over here, maybe 80% sweet. Rich. So that's what's crazy about this is it has some of the nigori, some of the aspects of a normal nigori and some of the aspects of the regular Ine Mankai, obviously. But what I remember from the regular Ine Mankai, which is crazy, is the umami is so intense. And this certainly has some of that, less intense, I would say, because of the nigori on top aspect to it, which makes it sweeter and more relaxed. But the regular Ine Mankai, the one that they had at Black Market Sake, man, what I remember, just from memory, is that when it's cold and fresh, it's got this amazing fruitiness that reminds me of juicy strawberries. And then when you swallow it and you get the what are they called, those post-aromatics? I can't remember the name there. John Gottner uses the word there. Use it in wine. Retronasals or something. Like the flavor that stays on your tongue inside your mouth after you've swallowed, like the sort of like aftertaste, if you will, is like beef broth. So fresh, juicy, like overripe strawberries when you first taste it, and then after that you let it sit down, settle in your mouth. Beef broth, like umami, rich, meaty bone broth is just ridiculous, and it's actually good. It screws with your mind, but it's you just can't stop. I mean, at least I can't stop myself from just taking sip after sip after sip. Like, what is that? What is that? It's so weird, but it's so delicious. So that was the regular Ine Mankai. That we already saw. Where was it? Here, Black Market Sake. This guy, yeah, that's what this guy tastes like. Now, and what's crazy is the rice polishing rate, right? 70%, 90% semi-bue. A lot of rice left on there. Anyways, it's great. So this one, this nigori version compared to the one here on the web, obviously it's thicker. It's got the more like yogurty taste and texture. Texture because of the, like we said, nigori. Taste because it's nama. It's raw sake. Always has a bit more yeast flavor to it, just straight up yeast flavor. But it still has that still has a bit of that umami, but in this case, instead of being bone broth, it's more olivey. It's weird. It's like olive brine, like I said before. Same smell that I get on the nose, I get it in the mouth. Yeah, it's like a sharp acidity, olive brine, but sweetness at the same time. Like olive brine and yogurt. Man, this sounds so gross, but it's really interesting. So sweet. I have to give it richness. It's not all the way up there, but it's pretty up there. And savory, yeah, definitely savory with that umami / brininess. I would not call it restrained. This is pretty much in your face. What's interesting about this also, when we talk about dry here, is although it's got the umami and the sweetness and the savoriness that's from the umami, basically. So rich and savory, it's hard to tell the difference in this chart. Although it's got all that, it is quite dry. There's definitely like a clingy, not a clingy, but well, the acidity is quite high. I mean, it makes your teeth stick, the inside of your cheeks pucker a little bit, like like yogurt, like when we were talking about the taste of yogurt. So not the driest, but quite dry. Definitely not light. I'm gonna have to go down here on the light. Floral fruity. If this were straight from a fresh bottle, it would be pretty fruity. I would give it a 60%. It's not a Junmai Daiginjo crazy fruity, but it's quite fruity. Just by the semaibulai, the rice polishing rate is really high. So usually you get a lot more esters in my mind. Well, it's different. I guess the Junmai Daiginjo super low rice polishing ratio will give you a lot of fruitiness, but that's not from the rice. That's usually from the yeast, I would say. Whereas here with the high polishing ratio, the fruitiness that I get is rice and yeast. It can be one or the other, and it's the interplay of them that creates some sort of fruitiness, I guess. In this case, with my few days old bottle, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go down here on floral fruity. Do I get any floral? Let's try to dig into that. That sort of dryness, acidity, like a sharp acidity that's of a ricey nature with the brininess, does remind me of a kind of a camphory, like minty, but more like camphor, more like cypress, like piney, sort of floral. But I'm pulling that. Fruity. This one's a little too old to get tons of fruit, but it definitely has some fruit. Yeah, it still has some. It's like overripe. It's like an overripe apricots that are getting like cloying, like sweet apricots, but then they're hard. It's hard to read because the acidity is really throwing into it. But it's still up there. And then aromatic. Aromatic is nose, I would say. Well, no, it's also tasting, maybe retronasals, whatever. What's left on the tongue and in the cavities, I guess, after drinking. It's quite aromatic. I mean, it has to be. It's just so heavy from all the rice, the nigori nature of it. So okay, this chart is gross. This is real bad. It's like everything is like maxed out everywhere, except lightness. So yeah, I don't know if this is the best chart, but I don't know. Let's try to make this better. Savory. Yeah, I mean, it is rich. It is quite sweet. It's quite savory. I mean, nothing beats this in savoriness except the regular Ine Mankai, I think. Not the driest, but it's quite dry, man. Definitely not restrained. You see, this is why this chart is weird to me, because we've got aspects of taste, but then we also have aspects of like quantifiers of taste, like restrained. Doesn't make sense to me. Put this on the same wheel. I'll have to fix this. Maybe I'll just make my own soon. That's a good idea. Let me know. yeah, I guess this might be Ine Mankai for now. I'll save this later, I guess. That's Ine Mankai. So yeah, just wanted to share that. This is the regular one, the Nigori version. I don't know if I search it, does it come up? Ine Mankai. Just search it in regular hiragana Nigori. Nigori Zake. Yeah, this one right here. This is exactly what we're drinking, I think. Isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, here we go. This is what we're drinking. Yeah, that's what we're drinking. Oh, so nice. Yeah, it's great. If you have the somehow you have the opportunity to drink this, you drink it. Absolutely, especially if you already know sake. This just will rewrite the script. It's just so different, and it just blows my mind about like the possibilities of sake. I was a craft beer geek before getting into sake and moving to Japan, and craft beer is way so expensive here, so I just got into sake, and deep history, millennial practice. It's like, why not? There's so much stuff to learn here. And yeah, I've been getting into it. And man, this Ine Mankai stuff from the regular one, I guess is what this would be, to the Nigori one. I mean, look at that. Look at these colors. This is crazy. Never see this in regular sake. Anyways, it's fantastic. Highly recommended. Rating, I don't know. Rate on 10. I don't know. I wouldn't even rate it. It's just a must try. For my personal taste, I guess, what would I rate this? Let's just get some size here. Yeah. What would I rate this? Okay. It's a false. Are there any faults? Well, because it's an old bottle, I would give it false. It's not even old, it's a few days old. But if 50% means it's sitting between bad and good, 60 means it is just good, 70 means fair, quite good, 75 would be like midway point between 50 and 100, so it's like it is definitely good. 80 is I would recommend it, and anything above 80 or 85 is something I would drink anytime I have the opportunity. And this is one of those. I would drink it anytime I have the opportunity. It's not my favorite. It's not like the best sake I've ever had or my favorite, but I think it would be an 85 in the sense that I would drink it whenever I have the opportunity. And novelty is a part of why I think it's so great, because it's very interesting. It's not the most like refreshing, I want to just chug it. No, it's not that, but very interesting, and it's delicious, especially when fresh, because it is a namazake. That's what you have to do. You have to drink it fresh. So that's Ine Mankai's Mukai Shuzo's Ine Mankai, but Nigori. Yeah.